And so, a long time ago, a little boy in me concluded that there had to have been a God who created this whole system. The question is the God of the Torah that God? It's a good question. But that there is a God that's infinite, that created all of this, I have no doubts about. The question is, why would God put us here with all of our questions and doubts and all of these difficulties and facing people of different persuasions who quite often wish to destroy us and kill us, and people who are evil? And it's a good question, and I have no answers why God would put us here with all of these difficulties. But I will present to you the most concise and popular explanations that are found among the Torah giants. And you can take whichever one you want. Number one, God wanted to give kindness and benefit this to recipients. But in order for kindness or benefits to be whole and good, they had to be deserved and earned. In other words, God created man because he wished to reward man. But in order for those rewards to be really rewards, man has got to do something for that. So man has to live in the physical world and has to make choices that are good, to do good deeds in order to receive this reward. That's point or position number one. Position number two, there's a 2 and a 3, but they're really very similar, is that God has infinite powers. And these infinite powers are not complete until there is an individual or a set of individuals who can observe them and appreciate them. In other words, a power is not complete until there's a recipient. Until there is someone who can see the power and appreciate the power, so to speak, is lacking in its completion and wholeness. And so God has all of these wondrous powers. And these powers require an observer, not just to actualize them, but to make them whole. And that's the secret behind the Jewish person saying Kiddush on Friday night. On Friday night, we acknowledge that God created this world in 6 days. And by being the observer, acknowledging that God created this world that we see, this phenomenal world, we are an observer to this power. The power becomes complete. It's very much like what John Wheeler says when he discusses the projection of light waves or photons from a distant star going around the galaxy. We can observe these photons either from the right of the galaxy or the left of the galaxy, depending upon where we put our telescope, where we observe it. And where we observe it will actually define which route that photon has taken. And essentially we can determine billions of years back in time where this light has gone. Because you see, light travels on waves of probability, but it does not become a reality till there's an observer. That's his theory. I may have a different explanation for it. I really need to discuss it with physicists, but it is my opinion that's a little different than that. I believe that light experiences no change at all. That to the light beam that has gone out 8 minutes and 40 seconds ago from the sun to the moment it hits us on Earth, that light beam experiences no change at all. It changes only that we have experienced the light, but the light itself senses no change. And therefore, we don't really retroactively define the light, because you see, the light experiences no time. And since it experiences no time, the fact that we see it on this side or on that side, depending upon our choices, is an actualization of the light, but it's not going back 3.5 or 5 or 6 or 7 billion years in time. Rather, the light is singular. The light of 7 billion years ago with us is singular. It experiences no time and is now being seen. And that's what it is. It is that light being seen at this particular time. Not that we redefine it billions of years back, but rather that this is the light. The light has no change. The light has no time. That's my personal opinion. I'm just spouting off stupidity. It may be. I don't know. At any rate, that being said, the observer causes perfection, completion in the power. Without the observer, it's all a wave of probability. Without the observer, there is no sound, because sound is the experience of the human being. The vibration is the natural occurrence, but there is no sound until there is a human being or an observer that hears.